Good morning. After the last few chapters, chapter 9 is kind of a common sense kind of chapter, physical security. It does have 45 slides, and again, I'm going to go fairly fast. We want to discuss the relationship between information security, physical security, the considerations, fire control, surveillance, critical physical environment considerations, the facilities, uninterruptible power supplies, and that's where I pulled the assignment for this chapter at. I just thought those were, that was something that you will probably see and be responsible for maintaining it in the networking area to make sure that a power outage doesn't shut down your servers and things like that. When you see a company saying that they have 99, I think Blackboard is 99 point something uptime on its servers, that's really good. And if you've ever, and all of us have had power failures and had things happen physically that kept us from getting to the network, to the resources that we wanted to. This chapter starts out talking about a person that came into a company, just piggybacked on somebody else's authentication. They're getting them in, and was a thief, basically, was what that was about. So that's how our scenario played out in this one. Physical is physical objects, unauthorized access and misuse. Physical, physical security is important as logical and data security. So we're 7 major sources of physical loss, and that is right at the very beginning: extreme temperatures, hot and cold, gases, war gases, commercial vapors, humid and dry air, suspended particles. And boy, can I relate to that, because I have been sick for at least a year with the conditions in the tech building. I'm not going to say a whole lot about that, but I really have. I've tried to keep that from my classes, but I've been very, very sick. Liquids, water, and chemicals, and we know that we have to be careful with liquids around computer components and that kind of thing. Living organisms, bacteria, viruses, people, animals, insects, all of those kinds of things. Um, this is projectiles is talking about uh, objects in motion, vehicles, things like that. The movement, collapse, shearing, shaking, vibrations, flow, all of that kind of stuff for movement. And then energy. Um, Abnormalities, the electrical surges and failures, and that's one of the things that I tell my introductory 146, 130 classes, is that static electricity can zap the components on a motherboard. Just, you know what static electricity is, and especially in a carpeted room. Then when power goes off, when it comes back on in a surge. So it's not just power, the power lightning or something for surge protectors or something like that. It's the surges that come through when that power is turned back on. Community roles, who's responsible for the facility security, who's responsible for the maintenance of those buildings. IT management is responsible for, of course, the resources on that network. Um, there's our Chapter 6 assessment risk coming in to play there. The safeguards and controls, physical location, locks. Um, we have had computers, a whole machine taken out of the building before. It's just a fact. When everybody leaves at 5 o'clock or before 5 o'clock, the adjunct night teachers do not get here until 6. And sometimes there are no night classes, and that building is unsecured completely until it's locked up at 9 or 10 o'clock. Um, So all of those kind of things, fences, gates, walls, we kind of self-explanatory. Physical security, all of those things that we're used to using. I don't really think I need to go through that. To me, it's just common sense kind of things. Our wiring closet in the tech building is in the closet between where our instructor offices are. We have ID and badges here at Sneed. Nobody wears them anymore. They issued those after 9/11 for students and personnel, and mine is in my desk drawer, honestly. I see some people wearing them. Now, yesterday when I was at that meeting, I could tell the people there that that's more enforced than it is at Sneed because they had their badges on them and with them. Even going off campus, they did. I don't need to do that one. There you go. The badges, breaking in, the keypad, all of that. Okay. Locks and keys. You've often heard the thing that locks only keep out honest people. But they can fail. Locks. People can use a credit card. Some are better than others with the keypad there for entry. Man traps that has an entry point and different exit points. If anybody comes into the building that should not be there, it should catch them, because they really don't know the outline of the building generally when they come in. And that's giving you an example of what that looks like, where you go in and you have to go through a hallway to actually get back out of the building. You see that a lot in government facilities. Electronic monitoring. Does Sneed have any? I know we monitor the computers, all computers on lab. I know that in the labs, I know that all the computers in the personnel offices are monitored by a guy in our IT department. But as far as video cameras and things like that, I'm not actually sure about that, if there is even any at Sneed. Alarms and alarm systems we do not have. We have fire, but we do not have alarm systems that I know of. There may be, though, in our IT department where all the servers are stored. They've been doing a lot of upgrade on that, but I honestly don't know. Okay. I'm just going to skip right over that one, too. There is on page 478 in the book, physical and environmental controls for computer rooms. And that's what I was just saying about our IT department. I need to go over there and take a look at that. Then fire, security, safety, fire detection. And of course, we all do that in our homes, right? Last week I recorded videos here at home and one of my batteries were going out so you could hear a beep the whole time I recorded. Fire detection and responses from the people that are important. There are definitions on detectors and clean agents and sensors and all of that kind of stuff on page 480 in our book. And it talks about the extinguishers, and I think most of us have an extinguisher in our kitchen nowadays. If you get homeowners insurance, you have to have all of those things in place. The water sprinkler system, never seen it come on at Sneed. Although I hear a high-pitched squealing sometime in our building that is connected with this kind of system. Fire detections, the gases. Remember that this just to remind you that the technology building is closed today because they are cleaning for mold. A picture of a gaseous fire suppression system. Where you actually work and who you actually work for would determine this. I really believe that small companies might not have that at all, like us. heating, ventilation. We had the proper equipment in the tech building, we would have not had such a buildup in mold in that building, and that's true fact. We had way too much humidity, and it wasn't sucked out. It had the right breeding conditions for that mold. Voltage, and believe me, that is one of the things that I am scared of. Now, over on Howlands and their substitute under the Clean Air Act, that's on page 482 and 83, 84, talking about all of these chemicals and the trade name, the substitute protocol for those different things is listed there. Ventilation, we need them. Heating, ventilation again, noise that interferes with it. That's why you have to turn off your phone, or supposed to, when you're traveling or when you're in a doctor's office or things like that. That noise from your cell phone messes up their system. Grounding, GFCI, identifying quickly a ground fault. Okay, uninterrupted power supplies, and that's what we did in our assignments. We took a look at these power supplies and the differences between them. So with this chapter, I just thought probably this was the most important thing for us to go over as network administrators or in cybersecurity. Giving you a look at the schematics, standby line, standby, a double version, all of that are going. Emergency shutoffs, important aspects of power management. Most computer rooms, I don't honestly know there again, because I just have not been involved if we have an emergency power shutoff or not. I know we do in the halls. We have that, but I'm not sure in that closet if we have that emergency shutoff or not. I'll have to go look in that closet. Water problems, the lack of it, the surplus of it, the integration of it into systems. Structural collapse. Oh, we don't want to even go there, do we? Physical. We're talking about physical, but somebody needs to do that. Carefully documented, evaluated, and tested. Yeah. Now, data interception, direct observation. That's where you may be standing behind someone and you watch them key in their password. You may have access to their computer. You know how many times I've seen students walk out of the lab and leave their blackboard open? A lot. One of the things I don't like about autocomplete is that when you put your S number in Blackboard, if autocomplete is on, your S number is there. And if somebody knew your birthday, they could get in if you haven't changed your password. So be careful with that. Then the interception and a data transmission, and we've been through that a lot in this course already. I want this temp test program to reduce electromagnetic radiation. Used to in the old monitors, they were talking about exposure to radiation, and we don't even have that anymore with our new monitors. It just is better now than it used to be. Mobile and portable systems, of course. One of my friends came to my house recently, and he said, "Boy, you're really worried about somebody getting into your computer." And it's just because even my home computer, you have to put in a user password to be able to get into my computer at all. He saw it laying on my table, and I had a group of people here, and we were talking. He was just gonna, look at something real quick, and then he saw that he couldn't easily just tap into my computer. It happens. This CompuTrace, I don't know what software we actually use, but the IT department can see every monitor on campus. They can see every email that is sent on campus, especially faculty and adjunct and student email. They can see that. So, and they have a legal right to do that. That has been tested in court. When I first started teaching the web, there was a lot of legal ramifications going on about the web, and a employee sued an employer because they had read her email. But the ruling of the court was, you're at work. The employer has every right to read every email you send while you are at work. So, the law backs that up, and has. Laptop with trace, verifies ownership and status, so thefts. Remote computing security, and that's what I've just been talking about. Off-site computing using the internet, employees to access networks on business trips, and we can do that. We have something called webmail and you can see my machine. When we want email at our desk, we just use Outlook. But when we want to access email from Sorry. I don't know. I shouldn't have probably just closed that. But when we want to use email from home or any other location, then we have what we call as webmail. And I think that's fairly a common practice. So special considerations for physical security, and this is really homed in this last week. I talked to a teacher after our threat last Monday, after that death threat. I talked to that teacher, and he pointed to one of the signs on the building that says you cannot bring firearms on this campus, and he said they'll keep targeting facilities that have that because they know nobody can shoot back. He was kind of mad about that because he felt like while he was at work, he should have the option to protect himself if there was not police or security around. The use of social skills. Be careful with social media. Seriously. I have two people right now on my Facebook page that I don't know from Adam, and it doesn't show me who they know of my friends, and I haven't friended them. I don't friend people I don't know. I just don't, I don't do that. So be careful with things that we do. Computing equipment should be inventoried, of course. If there's any classified information, it should be managed and inventoried. Where it's located, a part number on it, who's responsible for it, and all that kind of stuff. Short and sweet on this one. Have a good weekend.